Welcome back to another video. Yeah, today I'm going to tell a story. So this is the time that I almost got arrested. Well, one of the times I almost got arrested. Believe it or not, I've almost been arrested several times throughout my life. This is one of the closest times I've ever been to getting arrested. And most of the time when it comes down to me, like almost getting arrested, it's just like most people when it comes down to it. It's just me doing really stupidish. And I can't even front like it's not, but that's almost exclusively what it is. I can't even sit here and pretend like it's not, but yeah, this is basically what it was. So, I have told this story before, but like with a lot of these story videos, I just think that video was really horrible, and I made it like, I don't know, it's been, well, about 4 years ago now, so pretty much none of you have seen that video, so there's really no harm in like updating that video and remaking it, so yeah, you've pretty much never seen it, so we'll go ahead and remake it and put that up as this video today. So yeah, this is the time that I almost got arrested as like an 11-year-old child. So yeah, I was 11, and it was the middle of summer too, so I was just kind of hanging out on summer vacation with my cousin. I spent a lot of time at my cousin's house on summer vacation. I basically lived there during the summer, spent so much time there, and we didn't really do like a whole lot of crazy stuff while we were there. Most of the time we just kind of played video games. Like we would just play like PlayStation 2 and 3. This is back when like before the PS4 and all that was out, so we were playing older consoles and stuff at this time. This is back when like Modern Warfare 3 was out, so you know, we were playing a lot of the older Call of Duty games and stuff at this point. So that's pretty much what the day would consist of, a lot of that kind of stuff. We would go outside too. We had some friends in the neighborhood that we would play with. We would shoot hoops and stuff like that out in the street, and we would also ride an electric scooter and stuff around the block. And there wasn't like a whole lot of stuff really to do because there wasn't really that many kids in the neighborhood, so we couldn't really do like a whole lot of stuff. But like at the same time, it wasn't like there was nobody in the neighborhood to kind of hang out with, so you know, it was like a weird balance. But one day we were just kind of hanging out, walking around the block, and we saw this weird peach tree, and it was the first time we'd ever seen this tree. And I know this is gonna sound really weird because, you know, we're just walking around the block and oh my god, a peach tree in the middle of the city. Yeah, there was a peach tree in the middle of the city, so which was really weird. I have been everywhere in this city, and I've never seen a peach tree anywhere else here, ever. So it was really odd to see one here. We noticed it there, and we pointed it out like, hey, there's a peach tree up in that yard. And we're all just kind of like looking around, and we kind of go over there, and there's nobody home. So, of course, we're stupid kids, and I'm not telling you this story to tell you, hey, this is what you should do. I'm telling you this story because I'm telling you, hey, I almost got arrested doing this. Don't recreate these actions. Not necessarily a good idea. I literally was almost arrested for doing this. So, we went up in this yard, and we like picked some peaches off this tree. Yeah, kind of harm, kind of foul. Shouldn't be going in people's yards picking fruit off their trees. Not necessarily a very good thing to do. Not your tree, not your yard. However, no one really said anything. No one saw us, so no big deal to us, right? So we walk back out to the sidewalk, and we have this electric scooter. Now there's 3 of us because we're hanging out with one of our friends in the neighborhood. He lives down the street and everything, so we're just kind of hanging out, right? And we're just sitting here with these peaches and stuff, and I don't know why, but we would have these like weird moments where we would just straight up invent games on the spot. Now I don't know if you guys did this too, but like we would just straight up invent games right there on the spot. Like this time we straight up invented one where the object of the game was to throw peaches at each other while one of us had to avoid the other one's throwing on the electric scooter. I don't know why we decided that was a game we wanted to play. I don't know where we came up with this idea. I don't know why we decided this was a good idea, but this is what we decided we were going to do with the rest of our day. Apparently, there was just infinite peaches that grew off this tree. Apparently, you know, whoever lived at this house was going to arrive home and be like, oh, hey, I wonder where all the peaches on my tree went. I don't know, like I said, we were kind of stupid. We didn't really think this one through. We didn't necessarily have the biggest brains going on there, so it was just straight up degeneracy at this point. So we're picking peaches off this tree, just being idiotic, and we start playing this game. So one of us gets on the scooter, starts riding it back and forth. We're throwing peaches, you know, trying to smack it, aiming for the head deliberately, of course, you know, trying to inflict as much damage on one another as possible. And, you know, peaches, I'm assuming, will hurt when hit in the face with one. So, you know, we're whipping them, we're throwing them as hard as we can, you know, trying to go hard. So we're just playing this game, and keep in mind there are cars parked along the side of the road. We deliberately went to a spot in the road where there were no cars. So we went to an area where there was an intersection. Where there are no cars parked there, you legally cannot park your cars close to the intersection because obviously people need to be able to get through that intersection. Well, anyways, we're playing at this intersection. There's a stop sign there and everything, so we're kind of just hanging out there. And we're playing this game, and yeah, we're just kind of throwing these things. We're not hitting any cars or anything like that. So we're just kind of hanging out in this one spot. We're playing our game by ourselves. Of course, we didn't even pick that many peaches off the tree. Like, we were trying to be mindful of that even. Like, we didn't want to ruin this guy's tree. We didn't want to ruin his yard or anything. We were trying to be as mindful as we could, but we were still being, we weren't being mindful because at the end of the day, we were going in his yard and taking things off his tree. That's not being very mindful. Well, anyways, of course, somebody noticed what we were doing, and they did not enjoy it at all. So, one of the people who lived in this area noticed, of course, hey, there's 3 kids out there, they're throwing fruit at one another in the middle of the street where there's all these cars parked, and no one is, like, saying anything to them, no one is approaching them and, like, telling them to stop. What's going on here? So I guess he took it upon himself, I don't know, he decided to come outside and say something, and he sure said something, alright. Now at this point, our game had devolved to just throwing peaches at the stop sign, yeah, which, I don't know, man. It wasn't a good decision. But yeah, we were just throwing the peaches at this stop sign at this point, and he came outside, and he just starts going stupid. And yeah, I mean, I can kind of understand him, like, reacting negatively, but reacting in the way that he did, maybe not. So, he did raise his voice, and then he starts, like, cussing at us and talking to us some type of way, so, I didn't take to that very well, because my temper, it tends not to be very well under control sometimes, and that becomes pretty problematic. I used to be very bad about this. I've gotten better as I've become an adult, so I was 11 and couldn't control my temper very well, so, this random grown man walks out on his porch and starts screaming and cussing at us, and then he makes the random claim that we threw peaches at his truck, which, if you throw a fruit at somebody's truck, it's going to leave marks. Not only is it going to leave dents, it might leave a scratch, but it's also going to leave something like juice, or it's going to leave some skin on the side of the truck. Fruits explode. They leave something behind beyond just the dent. Well, I mean, he pointed down to his truck, and we look over there. Of course, there's nothing on his truck because his truck is like 25 feet away from us. It's on the other side of the road. We're not even close to his truck. Keep in mind, on the way other side of the road, he's like 55, 60 feet away. We're not even really that close to him, like, we're on the other side, so he is now causing problems with us from the other side of the road, like, we're not even close to his property or anything like that. He's out here freaking out, making random claims, and I tried to be, like, nice to this guy. I was like, okay, well, we didn't do that. I mean, you can come look at your truck, there's nothing on your truck, there's no marks on your truck, fruit leaves marks on a truck, so we're just out here playing around, we haven't hit any cars, you can look up and down the road, we haven't done anything, so apparently me, responding, I would say, with that, being, somewhat polite, being reasonable, not responding too, I would say, too harshly or anything, apparently was just, like, the worst response to give this guy, so he freaked out, and he becomes irate and marches down the stairs, and at this point, I thought he was actually gonna, like, confront us in the street, so that would have been pretty cool, a grown man trying to attack a group of children in the street over something like this, that would have been pretty dope, but, because at this point, he's just out here, like, freaking out in the street, just, like, raising his tone, so I kinda lost it, and I was just like, alright, go ahead, go do it, you bitch, no one's really scared of it, go ahead and call them, they're not gonna do shit anyways. I kinda lost it, I started cussing back at him, and yeah, he didn't take to that very well, so he runs into the house, and he, like, shows us the phone through the glass window on his door, and at that point, we're all, like, 11, so we're like, oh shit, he's actually calling the cops, so we take off, man, so we start running up around the block, and we made a plan real quick to all, like, go back to the same house, to go back to my cousin's house real quick, and just to, like, kind of chill out for a minute, right? Well, our friend said, nah, I'm cool on that. He took off without saying anything and just dipped. So we're both just we're just like, huh? Wait a minute, hold up. He just, like, takes off without saying anything to anyone, just running. We're just like, oh, that's perfect. So this dude's calling the police on us. We're, like, at this point, probably a quarter of the block away from home, and we don't know where this guy's going. So the police are supposedly looking for us, and we have split up as a group. That's pretty awesome. So me and my cousin just take off back home. We don't know where he's at. We don't know if he's going to be caught, because that's our main concern, is that he's going to be caught by the police, because we don't know where he's going. If he like doesn't go home quick enough and the police do catch him, he might snitch and he might rat us out. And if he rats us out, then we're going to be caught too. So that's kind of a problem. So we just went home. And we just kind of like chilled out. We didn't actually think the police were going to show up. We didn't think they'd really would care about something that stupid. Honestly, I wouldn't think the police would really care about something like that unless like he would have had to have like majorly exaggerated what happened. And like thinking back on who the dude was, I totally believe he exaggerated. Like he probably told them like we had a firearm like aimed at him. Something stupid, man. But there was a police presence in the neighborhood very quickly. There was a police car that went right up the road. We watched it from the window. So we're actually like, oh great, so there's actually cops looking for us, because we were throwing peaches at a stop sign trying to have fun. That's pretty dope. So we just kind of chilled in the house, and then the police started going door to door. That was really weird. We didn't think that was going to happen, so I don't think it would have happened. I'm assuming that someone might have seen us go into the house or something, and then they might have told the police that, because I don't just see the cops coming up to like the 6 houses right by where we came in and like asking if boys came in the house here. You know what I'm saying? Something's real suspicious about that, but the cops came up to the door and they asked if anyone had seen 2 boys or 3 boys coming through the neighborhood, messing with stuff, vandalizing property, and things like that, disturbing the peace. So my cousin, aka my cousin's sister, so my older cousin at this point, answered the door for us. We're scared shitless. We're hiding. We're trying not to get caught here. And yeah, the police are right there. She very easily could have turned us in. She knew at this point what was going on. She was not happy because she was going to have to tell on us, unfortunately, when, you know, it came down to it, and when parents and stuff, you know, had to become aware of what was going on. But unfortunately, a few minutes later, they kind of figured out what was going on, because the police thankfully did not find out what was going on. They believed it when she told them that we weren't there, walked off, and they never found out what was going on. Thankfully, we were not arrested. Almost were. We could have been caught very easily, but yeah, they just kind of left. I don't know what they ever told that dude, or if they ever like found anyone else, if they ever found my friend, who we never talked to after that again, by the way. Well, I actually did, because I ended up working with him at a pizza place a few years later, which was funny. And we recalled back on that. It was actually funny a lot of years later. It wasn't so funny right after it happened, but yeah, that was a story about the first time I almost got arrested. I've almost been arrested a few times afterwards, but yeah, definitely not something you want to follow in the footsteps of. It was a really stupid decision, and being kids, man, I think it was a good lesson, because I made a really irrational decision with my cousin and one of our friends, but it's something I can look back on and laugh about, thankfully. Anyways, if you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're brand new around here on my channel. Follow me over on Twitter at @SubToptimus. I post memes, thoughts, and updates over there. Surefire way to get notifications of all my newest content. Thank you to my channel members. Your support helps my channel tremendously. Remember, channel members do get access to storytime videos a little bit earlier than everybody else. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, nearly getting arrested over throwing peaches when he was like 11, and signing out.